Everyone is talking about this one major stat that the Panthers usually fill up and did not do in game one of their series against the Tampa Bay Lightning, guys. I'm going to tell you what that stat line is and what can they do to improve it in the next game. And are there going to be any changes to what the Panthers have been doing offensively and defensively heading into game two against a very desperate Tampa Bay Lightning team? Guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. Not going to be the longest episode today. This is going to be kind of quick, a little pre-gamer, kind of see where the Panthers may go this evening and what they could expect from this very high-powered offense that the Tampa Bay Lightning have. Again, thank you for joining me on Panthers Digest. I am Greg Andrews, guys, and please click that subscribe button down below to stay in the know with your defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. When it comes to injuries, news, roster changes, pre- and post-game analysis, anything and everything, please hit that subscribe button down below. And you can also comment. I would love to hear from you guys and get your takes on some of the points that I am making, as well as anything that you would like to talk about. I'd like to hear it, guys. I'll do some research and yeah, like to hear from you. So the biggest stat that has been talked about after game one for the Panthers, right here. They average around 32 shots per game in the regular season and only took 17. And the good news is they didn't need to take 32 shots to win the game. That hand-eye coordination from every single one of those skill players that scored a goal 2 nights ago showed the talent that this team has. And they went up against a brick wall of a goaltender and did not make him look good at all. The best part of this game, again, to me, is the Panthers didn't need to go all out and throw 40 shots at Vasilevskiy to win the game. The other part of this, the other half, was they went 3 for 3 on the power play. Matthew Tkachuk was a big reason why they did, with 2 goals and 1 assist. So I think his presence has changed the game for the Panthers. I think he's made them so much more dangerous. And what is even better is, even if they do not win this game, which I am thinking they are going to end up pulling it out because they have the Tampa Bay Lightning against the ropes. They just took away home ice advantage from them, and they are going to be very desperate tonight. I'm expecting a much more physical game from the Lightning. I think Nikita Kucherov is going to come out with something to prove because he just had 1 assist in that first game and no goals. They looked, at times, like I said, they were okay on offense. They were moving the puck around in their offensive zone, but it was the Panthers' defense and goaltending by Bobrovsky that stepped up big and got the Panthers the W in that game. Again, the other thing too is a lot of pucks bounced in the right direction for the Panthers. That first goal by Bennett was a great pass by Samoskevich, but what incredible hand-eye coordination by Sam Bennett. That was remarkable to get that goal, that puck past Vasilevskiy, guys. Incredible. So yeah, here, I don't think they're going to need to take 30, 40 shots in a game to win if they're playing like they did in game one. And I said this in the last episode, they just got to make sure they stay out of the penalty box. They got in there 3 times. Yes, the Lightning scored 1 goal. And we'll get into some more of these stat lines and what we're going to expect tonight from the Panthers as well as the Lightning. Again, I'm still having the Panthers in this one, but it is going to be a much scrappier game. I think the Lightning are going to throw a few more changes at the Panthers tonight. And they're going to put them back on their heels. We're going to see if Paul Maurice can make any changes, but as things sit now, there aren't any changes. Lines are exactly the same as in game one. Again, I've said this in previous episodes, why fix what isn't broken? It worked real well for the Panthers. Really well. But one of the things that is going to have to be absolutely pristinely perfect is their defensive play. Their defensemen are going to have to really step up in this game and be ready for the Lightning to throw anything and everything that they have at this Florida Panthers defense. They're going to be scrappy in front of the net. I know it. They're going to try to start a lot of scrums. They're going to try to draw a lot of penalties and bait guys. I know it's going to happen because it's happened in the past in other games in the regular season, in past playoff series against the Lightning. This is what they do. The physicality is not going to be where it's 48 hits for the Panthers and 28 for the Lightning. It's going to be a much more even keel game. And also the face-off percentage wins for the Panthers was super high. It was around almost 60%. So I think it's going to even out a little more in game two. I'm expecting the Lightning to make some changes, but I'm also expecting the Panthers to still work with what was going well for them in game one. And Paul Maurice being as cerebral as he is as a coach and putting his faith in his players, and they are so deep, I think they're going to be able to handle whatever the Lightning throw at them. So yeah, here you go. No lineup changes as per head coach Paul Maurice. This comes from Jameson Olive. He's the beat writer for the Panthers. So some quotes from some of the guys in the locker room after game one. Very physical game. Nico Sturm kept it simple, did what they had to do. There was no panic at any time as the game went on. They really put him against the ropes, and the Panthers did what they had to do, and they're just going to keep sticking with what's working right now. So not a lot of changes from what we're hearing and from the players as well as the coaches. And this is Forsling. Big game win. Obviously, that game one win is taking away home ice advantage from the Lightning and bringing it to the Panthers. Awesome. And obviously, if the Panthers win this game tonight, it's pretty much, I'm not going to say over for the Lightning because anything can happen in the NHL. We saw what happened in Stanley Cup Finals last year, and the Panthers almost let that slip away. But I would say it might be a done deal because the Amerant Bank Arena, when they come back here, is going to be rocking, especially because Aaron Ekblad will be back for game 3, and I think he's going to provide an even bigger boost to this defense. And I'm telling you guys, the Panthers are the scariest team in the NHL right now in the playoffs, and I think they proved it with their game 1 win. And if they do it again tonight, I'm sorry, the Spit and Chicklets guys on Instagram and X, and I mean, I got to tell you, I know a lot of people were picking the Lightning, but the Panthers are so deep. The trades they made, the way that they're playing right now, they're healthy. It's just looking more and more like the Panthers are going to be that team to beat. But the Los Angeles Kings look good. I've been watching some of the other series. The Maple Leafs have been doing some damage out there again, and I mean, it's going to be a very entertaining tournament this year for the NHL playoffs. So this is what kind of, I'm not going to say scares me, but it concerns me. The Lightning in the regular season averaged over 3.5 goals a game. They were the best in the league at it. You could see here, guys, the Panthers were a little bit further down at about 3 goals per game, right at it. But this is what scares me. They can turn it on at any point. Kucherov could go out there. Gensel could get out there. Hedman. All of these guys are fully capable of generating big-time offense at the drop of a hat. And it could happen tonight. But our defensemen are so spectacular. Our defense in general, even from the forwards and centers, are so great at that forecheck, getting, scrapping in the corner, really making sure they could tie that puck up and get it loose, especially Barkov. In that game 1, I loved seeing him in the corner. It's like he just gets one arm out there with his hand on the stick, and he's able to poke that thing away, tie it up in the corner, wait for his guys to get there and get a little bit of help. He squirts that puck out there, gets it to one of his guys if it's on offense or defense. Just unbelievable play by him. I think he's going to turn it up in this game as well, but his defense is such a priority for the Panthers in terms of, for them to have success, he has to do well on the defensive end, not just the offensive side, as well as in the circle. He was 14 of 18 in that game 1. So awesome numbers for the Panthers so far. So here's the other scary part. Obviously, if you have the most goals, averaging the most goals in a game per game, you're also going to have the most assists, and the Lightning do. You can see right here in the Panthers, you see all the way at the bottom right there. That's not last in the league, but it is 16th. They're right in the middle. Still, I'm not that afraid. I am not saying, oh, the Panthers are going to be in trouble tonight, and they're just going to get their butts kicked because the Lightning are going to come out and put up 6 goals like we just did. I think the Panthers just had a better game plan. I think the Lightning underestimated us, and they came out and they just took care of business. They were fired up having Matthew Tkachuk back out there, and I think it's going to happen again. I think Chucky's going to get out there. He's going to have something more to prove because they were yapping in his face. The Lightning players were yapping in his face, calling him out. Yes, he had that one penalty, which I think was a lame call by the referees. That was not... They were just trying to make a statement. That was a clean hit on the boards, and Chucky went into the box, unfortunately, the sin bin, and That was the first goal of the evening for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But I think Chucky's going to have a much better game when it comes to that. And then when we're looking at this, total shots for the season, the Panthers have the third most in the league. If we see it come down to crunch time, this game is really close. If it's tied or even the Panthers are down, I think you're going to see the Panthers throwing a lot of pucks at the net. I think they're going to take their chances and just keep throwing them at the net. Once again, I'm going to keep repeating myself. I think the Lightning were unprepared for what they were facing in this Florida Panthers team, especially with Chucky being back on the ice. When he was left all alone in front of the net with Vasilevsky, with the only player to beat, and he just little shimmy left, and right between the legs. That was no 5-hole. That was a manhole-sized cover of a hole that opened between the legs, and he made it look real easy. Matthew Tkachuk made it look so easy. So what I'm saying to you guys is the Panthers' penalty kill has been solid. Okay, they killed 2 of the 3 with the numbers that the Lightning put up for their power play. It's very strong. More than a quarter of the time, just a fraction over a quarter of the time on their power plays, they are scoring. That's close to where they were. I know it's 1 of 3 is 33%. All right. We're willing to give that up, especially where we're scoring 3 power play goals and go 3 for 3. Those are big, big numbers, guys. And that's going to be very crucial and critical in tonight's game when we go into Amalie Arena and hopefully go up 2-0 and can possibly close out the series back down here. And I think it will happen. I think the Panthers tonight have such a great shot at winning this. I think Paul Maurice is going to come out saying, hey, guys, we got to get this done tonight. Let's bring it back home to Amerant Bank Arena. The crowd's going to be jumping. Ekblad's going to be back. When Chucky scores his first goal, the place is going to go nuts. Seeing this team healthy and ready to try to do back-to-back championships and make that run, it's going to be a thing of beauty. It really is. So I'm real excited to see what happens tonight. Again, a very early puck drop, guys. 6:30 tonight. It is not nationally televised. It's going to be on TSN, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But 6:30 puck drop. This one's going to be super scrappy. And there's a lot of other action in all the other sports, but if you have the ability to watch this game, do it. Get your beer, get your popcorn, get pizza, whatever it is. Sit by your TV with your family. Cheer on the Panthers because, man, if we win this one tonight, they are going to be the talk of the town in the NHL in terms of who are the bad cats that are out there. And they're looking like they want to take this back to back. That's what they're looking at this year. And it looks very real after a very dominant game 1 win. So guys, cross your fingers. Let's go Cats. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow when I do a little post-game analysis and go over how the Cats played, what they need to do to get ready for game 3, which will be on Saturday, a 1 p.m. puck drop. So enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Go Cats.